Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Sports Shorts Daily, presented by the Bears Casino. Ronnie Rance alongside Tommy Christ and TK joining us over at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood in Baton Rouge, just right down the road from Parkview Baptist off Airline Highway. Get you some great crawfish over there, and of course all the fantastic meats, the hamburgers, the certified cuts, all the great steaks over at Tremonti's Meat and Seafood. TK, joining you from an undisclosed location in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, presented by the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. Go to lasportshall.com, where we had a big announcement the other day. Nick Saban going to be joining this year's 2025 Hall of Fame class. So you see the graphic on your screen right there. Nick, who was selected to join the 2020 Hall of Fame class, not able to do it that year due to COVID. When they rescheduled in 21, they had some NCAA recruiting going on that weekend. So we waited till he retired. Now he's joining the class alongside Andrew Whitworth, who he coached, Herb Vincent, who he worked with at LSU, now with the SEC office. Obviously, Ed Daniels, who posthumously will be honored, who covered him for years when he was at LSU, as well as Glenn Gilbo did the same thing. And then Glenn actually covered him as a sports writer in Alabama for a time. So he'll have some familiar faces. He'll be going into the Hall of Fame class with the last weekend in June. TK, it's interesting, when we announced it back in 2019 that Nick Saban was going to be going into the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame, there were some that were a little confused, or at the time not even happy about the fact that he was going in, considering he was at Alabama beating LSU most years. And we addressed it then, but we'll address it now. It hasn't been as much reaction this time around negatively towards it, and that is the minimum qualifications to get into the Hall of Fame, or to at least be considered, or you have to have done 2 or more years of high school in Louisiana, or 3 or more years of college in Louisiana, or have coached, been an administrator, whatever, professionally for 5 or more years. And of course, that's where Nick fits the criteria. He coached for 5 seasons at LSU, led them to a national championship. And quite frankly, TK, LSU football is not where it is today if it's not for the vision that Nick had back then, and he started, getting things built and setting up the structure that obviously Les Miles inherited, and Coach O, and et cetera.
Well, I'll say this, Ronnie. I've said this countless times in the last couple of decades. I've been around forever like you have. And I can remember people saying back in the late 90s, even when Saban got there, that they would trade all 5 College World Series titles for one football title, albeit they had the one in 58. Well, Nick Saban delivered that. He delivered a title. You didn't have to trade in the 5 College World Series titles. So I always said they should have put a statue of him up there for winning that title and taking LSU football to the next level. The old saying, is the program better when you leave than when you got there? With Nick Saban, that's unquestionably true. And of course, went to the Dolphins, and now he talks about how he regretted going to the Dolphins. Should have stayed at LSU. Skip Bertman was the AD. For lots of reasons, it didn't work out. Skip told him, don't go to the Dolphins, but he went. And then, of course, ended up at Alabama. So, no, I have no problem with Nick Saban going to the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. You're not going to get any complaints out of me, and most people that I know would agree with me.
Yeah, so looking forward to that. Last weekend in June, I'm telling you folks, if, look, that's a slow weekend in the world of sports, right? The College World Series is over. There is no NCAA athletics. There is no football, basketball. It's simply Major League Baseball, which we don't even have a team in the state of Louisiana, and it's just Baton Rouge Rougarou baseball. So outside of that, if you're looking for something to do, especially family friendly, like, it's not just a banquet. I mean, there are multiple events. Go to lasportshall.com so you can go check it all out, and hopefully you can join us up in Natchitoches. It should be a lot of fun. You see me rocking the Rougarou TK. It's Rougarou Friday. We both have our Rougarou shirts on. If you follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, go give us a follow. Obviously, you see our website on our screen. But if you go to our social media, you'll see a post that we made a few minutes ago before we went on air. And that is that yesterday I had the chance on aboard my brother's boat, which is called Just Looking, down here in Fort Lauderdale for a tournament with SFC. That we had a chance to fish with a few NFL players, and one of them being Jameis Winston. And Jameis did a plug for the Rougarou. You can go check it out on our social media. Did a video, fantastic, awesome dude. Forgot about this, Tommy, when I got a chance to meet him. And of course, he'll be eating the W's with the Giants this year. He signed with the Giants, so that he'll be in a battle with Wilson. Russell Wilson also signed with the Giants, so they'll be in a quarterback battle come August for the starting job. But um, I forgot about what a good baseball player he was, and he reminded me, TK, when he was at Florida State his freshman year. He started in left field. Then later on, as he moved to a pitcher, after he won the Heisman Trophy, he kind of became a PO. Mike Martin only wanted him to be a PO at that point, and he ended up being their closer for Florida State that year. He was frustrated with Mike Martin. He said, "Look, I want to hit." He said, "Nah, I'm not going to ruin your career. I'm not going to get you hurt. Getting hit by a ball or playing in the field, much like what Jay Johnson did to Paul Skeens." And he put him as a closer, and he said he topped out at 98 miles an hour, and that was back when radar guns were radar guns, right? Back 20 years ago, 15 years ago, whatever. I guess about 15 years ago. But yeah, I mean, Jameis was an awesome dude. Everything you've seen on social media, he was in real life.
Yeah, well, I remember when he pitched at Florida State, and the reason I remember they pitched in a regional, and Paul Guille, who's the head of SEC umpires now, was on the field, and Paul and I were teammates a long time ago at Southeastern. But I remember him telling me how hard this guy threw, and of course I'd watched it because Paul was umpiring and some other people that I knew. But yeah, and Winston's a big guy. I mean, I remember seeing him in the dome walking next to him years ago when I was on the sidelines for the Saints. I mean, he's a big dude. He's put together too. So, we know about the 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions that one year, but Bill Parcells used to say, if you're not throwing interceptions, you ain't trying hard enough, So I don't know. I guess it's arguable. But no, it was great. I saw the video of you and him, and he's got the personality. I mean, he fits on the video and the audio, and it's just he did that stuff during the Super Bowl when he was down on Bourbon Street, and that got like millions of views or whatever. So no, whether you like him as a quarterback or not, the dude is a personality, and he brings a lot to things. And did you get him signed up to do a first pitch for the Rougarou?
But he did say so. Ethan Posick, who played offensive center and guard for LSU in his time in Baton Rouge, is now the starting center for the Cleveland Browns, and actually thought of as one of the better centers in the NFL. And Jameis was telling me that the wives, his wife and Ethan's wife, became really good friends last year, and obviously Ethan and Jameis are super close. Anytime you put your hands under another man's rear end every day for a year, that'll make you close, like it or not. But obviously, Ethan's wife's from Baton Rouge, so they spend a lot of time in Baton Rouge. And Jameis was telling me, hey, we might come over there as a family, come visit them and stuff. He says, and he's the one that brought up maybe throwing out a first pitch. I said, Big Daddy, you got an open invitation. Just let me know when. So
Well, I
hopefully.
know you on the post, he asked if he had any eligibility left. Does he have one more year of college baseball left? I mean,
he technically does. We're investigating that as we speak. I mean, could we get him to maybe pinch hit or start one game and left? Maybe I'm gonna talk to John Wilson, the Texas Collegiate League commissioner, and see what the bylaw is stating that. I think they would be on board. I think Jameis would be on board. I don't think the Giants would be on board. That might be the one sticking point.
don't tell the Giants, okay? I mean, hey, the Lake Charles Gumbo Gators moved their Sunday games to 5 o'clock start instead of 7. They said their fans requested that, so I think we can request a Jameis, pinch hit, or he can't. He doesn't have to play every position like Mesh did a few years ago, but that would be cool. But at the very least, if we could throw out a first pitch, I think that'd be great. And there's a lot of people that certainly know who he is.
I showed him the picture of Malik Neighbors, who threw out a first pitch a couple years ago, right? And he had the Rougarou jersey on and all that kind of stuff. And so Jameis will be, hopefully for his career, be throwing passes to Malik Neighbors this fall. But anyway, a lot of fun. We're over here in Fort Lauderdale at a fishing tournament. SFC, we'll tell you plenty more about it in the spring because it's actually a competitive fishing league that my brother will be in and all that kind of stuff. So we'll get you more info on it, as some of it will be on ESPN Plus on the app and stuff. They'll have some shows. So Gus is going to be going global, TK, in the sport fishing world. So
I remember the first time I met your brother Gus. You and I went to watch him pitch in a high school game. Do you remember that?
that's right. I remember.
It was in the middle of somewhere. It wasn't at St. Thomas More. Isn't that where he pitched? There was a road game somewhere, and you and I went, and maybe he was a big guy, threw hard, whatever. And that was the first time we met, like real quick before the game. And I've been around Gus a handful of times since. But no, he is global. There's no question. Gus is global.
All right, TK. By the way, NFL news and notes, and we'll talk about it on Sports Shorts Radio tomorrow with Joel Davis. You saw where Alvin Kamara went to the Colorado Buffaloes practice to take in Sanders working out, who potentially may be the quarterback of the New Orleans Saints, or the future quarterback of the New Orleans Saints. He is the odds-on Saints are the odds-on favorite in Vegas to select him ninth in the draft. But I thought that was interesting. Obviously, there's some serious interest by the Saints if Alvin Kamara is making the road trip to Colorado.
You never know about posturing here. You got some teams, oh, we don't want a quarterback, and then they take one. And then some teams, it could be trying to set up a trade, trying to move, trying to create some conversation for a move they really want to make, or that might be the move they want to make. I know the team Sports Shorts disagrees on the future of Shedeur Sanders. I don't think he's going to make it, because I'll say this, Ryan, I thought of this today. All the other quarterbacks in the draft, Cam Ward, etc., not one of those guys said an NFL team would be a fool not to take me. Okay, and it goes back to my thing: if you're really any good, you don't have to tell anybody. Now, time will tell. I could be wrong, you could be wrong, Joel Davis could be wrong, Hunter McCann could be wrong, but I just don't think he's a long-term solution to take a team to the Super Bowl.
All right, so we're split here. It's Hunter McCann and I are in favor of Sanders. We do think he's going to be a good NFL quarterback. You and Joel Davis are anti-Shedeur Sanders, so we'll have to get Derry Beckwith on the show tomorrow to break the tie, the former LSU NFL player. He knows better than all of us anyway. So we'll get Derry on Sports Shorts Radio, which, by the way, you can tune in tomorrow, 10 to noon. It'll be on ESPN Radio in Lake Charles, Lafayette, and Baton Rouge.
You're joining us on the phone tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll be joining you guys on the phone tomorrow, and I've got the rundown I'll send to you.
We'll be at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook, which would be a great place to watch the Masters, obviously.
Speaking of the Masters, what was your biggest surprise of day one?
Well, not a surprise with the fact that Rory McIlroy had it to 4 under, and then he had double bogey 15, double bogey 17. I mean, and of course that's all everybody's talking about. But really, it's all about Justin Rose. Birdied the first 3 holes. Okay, it's the 5th time he's led after the first round at the Masters. It's like his 28th, 29th start there. And he birdied in the first 3 holes. He made a birdie today. He got it to 800. Now, I haven't looked at the leaderboard, so we're on the air. But the Masters was beautiful. I watched a good bit of it because, for those of you that don't know, you can go to masters.com. They have a live feed. You can watch it on your laptop while you're at work or your computer. You don't have to pay a dime. You can watch it, which I was doing yesterday at work. I had it on. And you can do the featured groups. You can do Amen Corner, whatever you want to do at no cost, okay? And, of course, it's on ESPN Plus, which once I got home, I just flipped that on. But the course looked great. Fred Couples shooting 1 under par with an eagle on the 14th. A rescue club. He knocked in the hole from 190 yards. There was a lot of good storylines out there. It started with Justin Rose, Scotty Scheffler. It was 3 back as the day started. He's going to play late today, so he's going to know what he's got to do, what he's got to shoot. I watched a lot of Scheffler yesterday. Sam Burns, LSU guy, shot 1 over yesterday. He's teeing off in just a little bit. But it's the Masters, and the cut line is the top 50 and ties survive for the weekend. So we'll know all of that tonight. And slight chance of rain today. Had some rain overnight. Weather's supposed to be beautiful the weekend. Saturday and Sunday, I'm ready to enjoy the Masters like I do each and every year.
We say it every year that Masters app is the best app in sports.
I got it. I told a friend yesterday, if you don't get that free app, you're crazy because there's nothing you won't know about the Masters.
Yeah, it's fantastic. What do we think the cut line will be today? What's your guess?
It's the top 50 players. It's not a 10-shot rule like some tournaments. If Justin Rose gets out there and he can get it to 10 or 11 under, I mean, the cut could be 2 under or so. That's not going to be a 10. It's going to be top 50 golfers, regardless of your score. And I'm going to say it's
Very,
going to be around
very,
even
very
par. It's
rare.
going to be around
Very,
even par.
very rare, right? That the Masters cut line is above par.
Yes, yes. And I think it's going to be right near par, maybe up 1 under, 1 over. I think that's where it'll end up being. But again, the weather conditions are perfect. These guys, the top of the leaderboard, Bryson DeChambeau's up there. Don't rule him out. Tommy Fleetwood, who was my long shot bet at plus 3,500, he shot like 2 over. But, they have their moments. You're going to have bad holes at Augusta. So the question becomes, can Rory McIlroy, who's trying to get the career Grand Slam, can he, he got it to 4 under, he finished even, can he shoot 4 or 5 under today and get himself in position for the weekend?
Freddie Couples doing what he did yesterday was fun to watch. I mean, the guy is he's got literally, they always said when he was on the tour, he's got the sweetest swing in golf. And he probably still does. In a day and age where guys are just in better shape and they can torque and turn and just, twist their body as contortionists. Freddie Couples with that bad back and all, just nice and smooth as it comes. And it's fun to watch him play. Also, Bernhard Langer playing in his final Masters ever. And, if you look up Bernhard Langer, Bernhard Langer's probably, 70 years old, Tommy, somewhere right around there?
Yeah, he's 70. Married to a girl from Ruston, Louisiana.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well, he's had the best Champions Tour career of any golfer ever will have. I mean, he is the Tiger Woods, Jack Nicklaus of the Old Timers Champions Tour. What he's done the last 20 years is just incredible.
Well, he's a 2-time Masters winner. And one of the years when he won the Masters, he wore all red shirt, red pants. And he's been known to be a colorful guy. But yesterday in his post-round conference, he said, hey, I tease Tiger Woods all the time. I wore red before he did, because Tiger started that Sunday red thing. And he said, I tell him all the time that I was the first guy to do the red, and all that. So they were having fun. But, it's going to be his final appearance in the Masters as a player. I'm sure he may end up being a ceremonial tee shot guy one day. I don't know. Because, the Jack Nicklaus, you see what he told he pulled out a medallion that he had in his pocket that from 1964 at the Masters. He won the long drive, 314 yards and something inches. Okay, and this is in the 60s. All right. Then he said that this was before he teed off for the ceremonial shot. He goes, I'll be lucky to hit it 314 feet now. So there was a lot of good, funny stuff. If you watch here, you park your TV on the Masters. It's a special thing, and it's a lot of fun to watch and see the old time guys. And 5 amateurs are in the field. One of them had a pretty good round. So it's the Masters. It's golf.
All right, TK, I'm going to let you finish up. I'm going to sign off from here. I'll join you guys tomorrow morning on Sports Shorts Radio at 10:15. I'll be on with you guys tomorrow morning on Sports Shorts Radio live from Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Until then, take it away, TK. Big series, by the way, this weekend between LSU and Auburn. We'll talk about it tomorrow morning because the Auburn starter tonight is a great story.
Yeah, Sam Dutton played at LSU. He'll start against Cade Anderson. We'll see what he does bouncing back after his tremendous outing last week. All right, hey, right here today at Tremonti's for lunch, 3-pound lunch special, crawfish, 3 pounds of crawfish, corn and potatoes, $18.99. Also, very important, pre-order for Easter weekend. Next weekend, Good Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Good Friday. It will be open a small window of time Sunday morning where you can pick up boiled or live crawfish. Pre-order everything you need for Easter. You can do it now. Stop by, call up, make that order, live or boiled, everything you're going to need. Of course, we'll remind you about that next week. Also, it'll be all over Tremonti's Meat and Seafood Facebook and Instagram page for get you ready for the Easter weekend. They got all you. They're not going to run out. They got all the crawfish you need. Don't forget tomorrow morning, Sports Shorts Radio. Hunter McCann and I from the ESPN Bet Sportsbook at La Bears. We'll have everything for you on ESPN Radio, Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and Lake Charles. So you don't want to miss that. Don't forget the Edge Lounge at the La Bears Casino tonight. Great stuff right there. As we always say, like and share this show, whether you're watching on Facebook, X, or YouTube. Like and share this show. That helps everybody involved. All Talk to you tomorrow morning on the radio. On behalf of Ronnie Rance, I'm Tommy Chrysan. Have a great day, everyone.